What's going on, Phillies fans? Welcome into the Fighting's Final, your Phillies Postgame show brought to you by Edge of Philly Sports. I'm Big Al, here to bring you into this great victory to start off this weekend against the Nationals. So after last night, a little bit of a letdown, back and forth. I was down at the game. Phillies fell to the Mets. Didn't get that 4-game sweep or two and two. I don't know how you guys split those games up. Is that two different series? Or is that one full series? Ever how you look at it. They lost last night, kind of in a little bit of a letdown at the end of the night. But tonight, they came back. Zack Wheeler, bounce back game tonight. Huge after his last clunker of a game. Definitely what they needed from Zack. Definitely what they needed to go long into the game. After last night, they, how to use a lot of the bullpen. Taijuan Walker took a ball off the foot, has a toe contusion. They're going to be feeling him out, seeing if he's going to be able to start. A lot of things going on, a lot of different possibilities. Do they skip his start? Let him go forward. Let him move forward without him playing. They move Spencer Turnbull in. They're going to be feeling him out. They're making him moving and grooving. See what he can do on that toe. But we'll talk about Taijuan Walker later. Tonight is about Zack Wheeler, about the Phillies winning 4-2 against the Nationals. First game of the series. Winning that first game of the series again, man. That's a little bit something that flies on the radar right now to their success, is winning these first games of the series. Just with this, it kind of sets the tone. We all know about how tone is. And we'll talk about it because it has a little bit to do with tonight when you look at the numbers. But yeah, setting the tone of this series. I know it's Friday night, so I want to thank everybody for coming out. I know it's kind of nicer Friday than we've had in a while. Sun was kind of peeking through towards the end of the night. I know they were talking about it on the broadcast. It was definitely warmer. You see me wearing my hoodie, and you're like, "Yeah, it's warmer. What are you wearing a hoodie for?" I'm in my basement. It looks like I'm at CBP, but I'm not. I know you know that, but it's a little warmer, a little cooler in my basement. So I'm wearing this tonight. But no, big win tonight. Big win for the Fighting Phils. Big win for the Phillies. Big win to continue to bounce back and just kind of continue to insert their dominance. Again, I know a lot of people are probably going to start chiming in here, and I'll get to the comments of a few, but they're going to chime in and say they're going, "Oh, Al, that's the Nationals. The Nationals suck." Doesn't matter. Good teams beat bad teams, and this is what they did. Could have been a little bit more of a throttling. That would have been nice. But, a lot of the scoring for both teams happened in the beginning of the game and then kind of coasted through it. I mean, the game was a 6:40 start. So it went a little over 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 12-minute long game. Much quicker than it was last night, going 11 innings. Like I said, I was down at CBP in the press box covering the game, and that was a much longer game. So it was nice to see a quick, down, dirty, get it in, get it out, get that victory, set that series up for, hopefully continued victories. So we'll go through all that. We're going to talk about Zack Wheeler. We'll talk about some of the guys doing well and some of the guys kind of cold tonight, kind of quiet tonight. I think we're definitely going to touch on Brandon Marsh and Alec Boehm continuing to be the youngsters, but picking up where the veterans kind of are lacking on certain nights, and that's what makes championship teams that can continue to produce at any part in the lineup. Even little things like if you look on the stat line, Johan Rojas, not a great stats tonight at the plate. But, advancing runners when he came up, especially in the second inning, which we'll talk about, that's kind of a key thing for a guy in his position to do. That's what you want to see from a Johan Rojas, from a 9-hole hitter. At the very least, advancing the runners, not striking out, not hitting the double plays. He got out, but he advanced the runners from first to second, which could have set up a possibility of some more runs. Unfortunately, top of the lineup, not that great tonight. So we'll talk about that. So let's look at this, but before we do, let me remind you guys that this is brought to you by Streetlight Kitchen and Bar in the Holiday Inn Suites at the Drexelbrook Event Center over at 5400 Fern Boulevard in Drexel Hill, PA. Breakfast, brunch, happy hour, dinner, drinks, you name it. They got an extensive menu, and you can check it all out at streetlightdrexelhill.com. The breakfast options, the brunch options. They have a brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3. Great brunch options. I know we talked about it for a while about the Mother's Day brunch, but they have a brunch every Saturday and Sunday. Delicious breakfast, delicious dinners, gourmet dinners, and as well as if you want burgers and appetizers, they got that as well. Great place to catch a game. You can go tonight. Would have been a great night to be at that outside bar. Maybe the fire going. If it's a little chilly, get the outside bar. You got the outside TV. Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Holiday Inn and Suites at Drexelbrook Event Center. Go to streetlightdrexelhill.com. You can put reservations on, check out the menu, look at the drink menus. You're going to stare at it, and then you're like, I got to go. This is what is going to happen. So go check it out. Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA, Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexelbrook Event Center. Call them at 484-461-9823 or go to streetlightdrexelhill.com. So guys, let's go through some of this. Yeah, but real quick, I'm going to hit some of these hit some of these comments here real quick. Nice bounce back win. Elephant in the room. Absolutely. That's what you need to do. You're going to have some letdown games. Always say if you win 100 games, there's 62 losses on your books. So you have to deal with some losses. Out of 4 games against a team, 1 loss, I'm happy with. It was a winnable game. I think that's what made it sting a little bit more. But yeah, don't let that thing keep you down. You keep moving forward. It would have been nice to see a little bit more offense, but every night's going to be that. The pitching picked this team up tonight, and that's kind of the story of the game. We'll get into that a little later. Still haven't had a losing streak since the Red Series. Yeah, and I think their only biggest losing streak's been 2 games. They haven't lost more than 2 games in a row this year. Trending in the AM. So anybody who doesn't know, Phil Stifle, trending in the AM, right here on Edge of Philly Sports, every Monday through Friday, starting at 8 a.m., killing it. The best morning show, bar none. Not just saying that because I own the company. I'm saying that because it is true. Check out Phil. Only 2 losing streaks of 2 games all season so far. Absolutely, just kind of what I said. I mean, that's the key thing. Winning series, beating the bad teams. Not like, I mean, every team has a letdown now and then. But, like, this is what kind of made the Braves successful over the last few years in the regular season. They weren't losing series. They weren't losing any 3, 4, 5, 6 games back-to-back. I know we kind of said that in the beginning. I think Phil even had somebody on the show. I think it was Luke, who said, there's going to be a 10-game losing streak or a 5-game losing streak. I don't know. I don't know if this team will at all. Right now, they're not showing me they will. I mean, we kind of thought, okay, maybe it was a little April hot streak. May they'll cool down. Well, it's May 17th. I mean, they haven't lost many games in May. So, I mean, that's pretty huge in that sense. And, that is how championship teams are built. And everybody's thriving off that. Everybody's feeding off of that. And that's the key thing. You need to feed off it. The pitching's doing well. The bats are thriving. The top of the order is not doing great. Okay, the bottom of the order is picking things up. Here's Phil jumping over to Facebook. There'll be a 5-game losing streak at some point. Yes, Luke. Okay, yeah, Luke Arcane. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll have 1. But I'm saying this team has had plenty of games, plenty of series over even 2022, which was a magical year. 2023, which was a great year as well. There was 5-game losing streaks. A few. Like, there was a few times they went 3, 4, 5, 6 plus games losing, and still, still contended, man. And that's a key thing. Like, that's something you can't buy. You know what I mean? And this team is looking very solid. I know it's still May. We still got plenty of baseball. We're a little bit more than 6 weeks. We're over 6 weeks into the season, getting close to that 2-month marker. I mean, if this continues through May and June is what June produces, I feel bad for anybody right now. I mean, the Braves are, keeping up behind us, not looking to stand these as much, but, they're not losing as many games. But Philly's still best record in baseball. Now moved to 32-14, which amazing. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the way these teams are lined up, they might not have 20 losses on the season before they hit June. That's amazing. But we'll talk about that more. I'm not looking ahead of the game. We're looking at this game. So let's get to what was, the star. Like, my star of the game was Mr. Zack Wheeler. Needing a bounce back. Definitely needing a bounce back was huge for him after having a clunker of a start. Not a typical Zack Wheeler. But, this is the kind of things. They need games where the pitching carries the hitting. The hitting carries the pitching. But they all could do it at any time. And there's been plenty of games where both carried each other. And it was just a slobber knocker of a type game. And then that's what you need. This is what makes really good teams really good. I mean, you can't buy this stuff. But let's go through your stat line tonight for Mr. Zack Wheeler. 7 1/3 inning pitch. We'll get into that in a second. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and he's boasting a 2.52 ERA. Amazing, great. It's funny that he's not the best ERA on the team right now, but still an amazing ERA, even after having a clunker like we talked about. He's 5-3 on the season. And remember, he started off 0-3 or 0-2. I forget. 0-3. Yeah, 0-3, I think it was. So, that you can't buy. Now, it was 7 1/3. So, I want to talk about that. So, Zack threw 104 pitches tonight. 100 of them were thrown before this, before he got into the 7th inning. Came in for 1 pitcher. I don't understand that. If you're so worried about him going the full inning, why start him? Especially when he goes, 7 full innings. So then all you need is Alvarado to throw. Now, maybe is it because Alvarado pitched last night, didn't have the greatest night? Maybe because the bullpen was taxed a little bit from last night because, as I talked about early on last night, Taijuan Walker had a ball bounce off his toe, had to leave the game early. Only went about third plus innings. They had to run through a lot of and then, of course, they went 11 innings on top of that. So that means they had to throw more. They had to get more bullpen action. So I don't know how the one batter really makes or breaks, but it worked out. So who am I to complain? But it was a little bit of a head scratcher in my eyes. But 7 1/3 innings, followed by Alvarado, who won the other 2/3 of that 8th inning. And that was it. Just 2/3, nothing, zeros across the stat line for him. Jeff Hoffman, he gets the save, 3rd one on the season. He's had 1 inning, and that would be the 9th inning, and he let up 1 hit, and that was it. And he has a .90 ERA, sub-1 ERA, which is great. Alvarado, even with some of his struggles occasionally, with 3.72 ERA. This team is looking real good, and that should be. And I know some guys are like, pump the brakes, not good teams. No, it doesn't matter. You play the teams in front of you. They're good teams, bad teams. As long as you keep playing. We have seen this team over many years play against bad teams and lose games that they should have never lost. The fact that they continue to win, they don't let one loss to get them down. They lose one, and then they go back and win 3 more. That's what you want, and that's how you win series. You want to continue to win series. That's what you want. So that is your Phillies pitching stat line tonight. Let's go. Jake Irvin, went 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. I had an okay game. He's the one who let up most of the runs. It wasn't anything bad, but it wasn't spectacular. That was it, though. After that, the rest of the bullpen shut down the Phillies. Jacob Barnes went 2 innings and had 2 strikeouts. Jordan Weems, 1 inning with zeros across the board on the stat line. Because as we get into the scoring, I'm gonna kind of break that down a little bit. A lot of it for both teams happened that first half of the game. And after that, I was pretty much from the 4th inning on, the Phillies were kind of non-existing at the bats. And luckily, the pitching did carry them. Pitching was the story of this game for the most part. We'll get into the scoring process, but from the 4th inning on, they had all their strikeouts. All 4 of their strikeouts occurred in between the 4th inning period. That was the end of the story. That was it. Real quick, guys, I want to get into the commercial here. Let me, let's play the Sherry's Tickets ad. I haven't played one of the ads yet. I always do the reads. Let's just see what it says.
Great moments don't just happen, they happen with you in the crowd. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less, play more with Sherry'sTickets.com and get the tickets you want. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10 and share an experience that will live on. Don't pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, don't overpay with the rest and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. For that next great moment, save 10% by using the promo code EOP10. Great moments start at Sherry'sTickets.com.
That's right, guys. Sherry'sTickets.com. Use them frequent. Use them often. Forget the others. Don't get bamboozled at checkout. Great prices, no hidden fees, and use that promo code EOP10 to save 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com. So, let's go through real quick. I want to go through because we're going to jump into the Broad Street bottom line, and I want to go around the bases or with you guys and talk about the scores around the league and what's going on. We'll touch on the standings a little bit. I'm not going to get too deep in them, but just to kind of give you guys a heads up where we're at. But like I said, after tonight's win, they're 32-14 on the season. The Nationals fall to 20-23. But let's go through the key scoring moments, and that started with Alec Bohm. Well, it actually started with JT Realmuto with a single in the second at bat of the first inning of the game. Alec Bohm then had that double RBI double. Bryson Stott was hit by a pitch, but Nick Castellanos ended up grounding out to third base, and that ended that. They would have a little bit more base action, but no scoring in the second, with a walk to start off the inning to Brandon Marsh. Mundo Sosa would hit a single, but Rojas, Schwarber, and JT all would just fly out and couldn't get anybody across. That brings us to the third inning, where Harper and Alec Bohm, one popped out, one grounded out. Then the end of the bottom of the lineup starts coming in. Bryson Stott, hot as ever, man. A little bit of slow start to the season, really hot. He hits a single. Castellanos was hit by a pitch, and then Brandon Marsh comes up and hits an RBI double to score Bryson Stott, and that would make it 2-0. I'm sorry. Yeah, that would make it 4-0 right there. Phillies. I had to look at my notes for a second. I wrote them down wrong. Sorry, guys. But that would be it. That was it. That was the bats. That's it. 4 strikeouts for the rest of the game between the fourth and the eighth inning. One per inning. They had a strikeout, and the rest of it were long balls that just didn't, swinging for the fences a little bit. Just didn't get over the fence. Just stayed up in the air a little bit too long. But that was it from the offensive standpoints. Like I said, they scored the 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the second, and then the 4th run in the third, and that's it. Cold bats after that. I mean, it's all they needed to do. Like I said, the pitching carried it the rest of the way, but from that standpoint, not exciting. But it made it for a quick game, and if you're a pitcher's duel and a great pitching performance, and you could take much respect for that, this was the game to watch for that. Let's see. Let's chime in. Star Wars 99 is chiming in. This team is good, but if Harper wakes up, we are on fire. Harper's been really good lately, just not tonight or last night either. Really wasn't great either. But Trey might be back sooner than 6 weeks. Yeah, you know what? Star Wars 99. We can chat about that for a moment. Yeah, I mean, I was like I said, I was in the press box last night watching Trey Turner on the field, watching Trey Turner loosen up, stretch, do all that kind of stuff. So that was it was good to see. It's very reassuring, I guess a good word for it. I don't know about sooner than 6 weeks, and I don't know if I wanted to be sooner than 6 weeks. That's the kind of injury you can re-aggravate very easily. It can be nagging, and you can be worsened. So what I say to that is they're doing well. There's no reason to rush him back. If he was our star pitcher and we were like really missing him, if he was and he was one of the best hitters on the team before he went down, but they're picking it up. They're winning. Like I said, 32-14, and there's a very high likelihood that they don't hit 20 losses before June. There's no reason to rush him back. No reason whatsoever. Let him take his time. Let him get 1,000% better. We're going to need him in the long run. I don't need him to rush back. Sosa's doing well. A little bit of an understatement right now, but he's doing well. So, and we're going to get into the hitting and all that real quickly here. But I don't think there's any reason to rush Trey Turner back, personally. Just my personal opinion. So yeah, let him take his time. Let him take his time. Let's go through this lineup here. Kyle Schwarber DHing tonight in the leadoff spot. 0 for 4 with an RBI with the sac fly. And then 1 strikeout. He's batting at 218. He's playing above that 200 level, guys. Got to be happy. Hopefully it gets a little better in the next couple weeks. JT was 1 for 4 with a run, a hit, and a 1 strikeout. He's batting at 277. Harper was 0 for 4 tonight with a strikeout. Not his best night, batting at 263. Alec Boehm continues to do Alec Boehm type things. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI, and still batting way above the 3 at 331. Stott was 1 for 3 tonight with a run. And he's batting at 281. Nick Castellanos was 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch. That was pretty much how he got on base, Nick. And he is batting a 199. Brandon Marsh was 1 for 2 with a run, an RBI, and a walk. And batting at 248, probably one of our most productive hitters tonight. And continues to be a pretty consistent force in this lineup. I hate to see when he's not in there. Sosa's 1 for 3 with a run and a strikeout, and he's batting at 308. I mean, I know he hasn't had a ton of play time, but he's still batting at 308. And Rojas was 0 for 3 tonight and batting at 228. So above the 9-hole average slightly. So, again, he's a 9-hole hitter. He has his up and down moments. A lot better than we thought. Daniel chiming in here. Happy Friday for, hey, everyone. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, thank you guys. Again, I know it's a Friday night. The last thing you either want home because you're going to crash on the couch after watching the Phillies game, go out and have a couple drinks with the friends. Whatever it is you want to do, I get it. So I appreciate you chiming in here. So if you are looking to get away, I would say it's real simple. What you can do is go to Phillies Sports phillysportstrips.com. And you can get away on June 15th. Go to Baltimore. That's a great road trip. You get a bus, a ticket, food, drinks, an experience, bar none, one of the best sports trips. And it's not going to break the bank. You can take family, and it's not going to break. It'll probably be cheaper than taking your family to the Phillies game down at Citizens Bank Park. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Sign up for it now. They're even heading out to Chicago if you want to get a little further away and take a plane ride somewhere. They're heading out to PNC Park for Pittsburgh in July as well. They're heading out to Fenway Park in June. So they have a lot of options for Phillies trips, and they just launched. We're going to have a whole new campaign here for Philly Sports Trips because they, of course, just launched all their away games for the Eagles. So a lot of things coming up. Looking for something, looking for a birthday gift. Father's Day is coming around the corner, looking for something to do. That Baltimore trip's a great thing. Won't break the bank. That'll love it. And you're looking, starting to think about Christmas. Hey, there's your Eagles trips. Whatever it is, go to phillysportstrips.com. Tell them EOP sent you and check it out. And if you are going to go grab a drink with the boys or the girls or whoever it is, go to Dolan's Bar at 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, 19078. But especially come out this next Saturday. Not this Saturday, not tomorrow. A week from tomorrow, May 28th. John Kruk's going to be there. Mickey Morandini's going to be there. Wiffle Ball Mania Dolan Spring Classic is back. EOP's going to be there, hanging out with you, interviewing the guys, talking to everybody, having a good time, having a drink with you. Come to Dolan's. Anytime is a great time to go to Dolan's, but this is definitely the best time. So come on out. It's one of those things you'll never forget if you're a Phillies fan. And it's an experience you can't afford to miss out on. So go to dolansbar.com. Follow on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, they got it. Saturday, May 25th, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park. Tell them EOP sent you. Come say hi. Let's hit one of these comments before we hit the Broad Street bottom line. Let's see. Wheeler had a better game Sunday. No, his last start was not that great. Oh, he had a better game than Sunday. Yeah, well, understatement of the year. Yes, yeah, much better game than he did Sunday. It was a great bounce back game, and that's what guys like, that's what competitors do. They erase that. They have that short-term memory. They erase it and they move forward. And that's what you need. So, guys, it's time for the Broad Street Bottom Line. All right, guys, Broad Street Bottom Line. Bottom line is Zack Wheeler. Zack Wheeler, bottom line. He owned this game. This was a Zack Wheeler style game. Never fretted. Was in control all the way through. Had some command issues on his last game. Kind of talked about just a moment before we went transition to the Broad Street Bottom Line. In his last game, he just had some command issues, leaving the ball over the plate. Things, he's not typical Zack Wheeler stuff. He pissed him off. He knew he was not happy when he came out of that game. And you know what Zack Wheeler did? Zack Wheeler just came back, erased his memory, moved forward. We were talking about it earlier. I believe it was Phil from Trending in the AM messaging. They've only had 2 losing streaks of 2 games. And that's it. That's how they lose one, they get back on the horse, and they win 4 or 5 more afterwards. So that's what winning teams do. And this team continues to win. And like I said, I've heard plenty of people say, "Hey, dude, this is not good teams." It does not matter. It does not matter. Ride this wave, enjoy it. So let's say, for instance, we've seen great teams come out to great starts and fizzle out. I don't think this team's that team, but Pittsburgh's done it. Tampa Bay did it last year. Guys came out and looked amazing. Looked like they're going to win 100-plus games and then don't even make the postseason. It happens. But I don't think this team has happened. They're too talented. There's too stacked up and down this lineup. They're too stacked in the pitch, in the rotation. It doesn't matter if you're first guy or fifth guy. They're dominating, and that's what you want. That's what you want. Dominating. They're top in the league. The top 5 are in most of this stats in pitching, like tops 8 and above for most stats in batting and base running. So you can't complain. And I know, like I said, it's Washington Nationals now. How am I supposed to get excited about it? Because they're a bad team. They're a divisional bad team, and you stomp them. How many times did we play the Marlins when they were a bad team and they beat us? Or the Nationals where they were in games they should have never been in. That's not happening, and that's the bottom line. This team is dominating, competing, and it's certain guys on certain nights. Not always, it's baseball. Not 100% of the guys are going to be 100% all the time, but guys are picking other guys up. Tonight it was pretty much Alec Boehm, Brandon Marsh, and Zack Wheeler. I mean, they had help in other formats. Bryson Stott too. Other players like Hoffman and Alvarado. But I mean, for the most part, those were the 3 dominant guys. They picked it up. You didn't get anything from Kyle Schwarber except for sack ground out. I guess it wasn't. But he struck out. Bryce Harper, he was 0 for 4 with a strikeout tonight. Nick Castellanos, except for being hit by a pitch, he was useless tonight. So, these are the big guys, big ticket names, and they didn't, but the other guys picked them up. These team is dominating. I don't see this team just falling off the face of the earth. I don't see this team going on a 5-game losing streak at any point in the season. That's a big declaration to make at this point in the season, but I haven't seen anything to make me feel that way. I know we've been hurt before. A lot of times we had a lot of guys coming in the early on in this season whose faces I don't see on here or names I don't see on here who were bashing this team. This team sucks. They aren't going to be any good. Now I don't know if they're eating crow behind a different screen or just stop caring or whatever it is, or was waiting for the shoe to drop before we see them pop back in. But this team is playing well, and it's okay to enjoy it. Maybe that's the other half of the bottom line. It is okay to enjoy this this run the Phillies are on. So continue to enjoy it. Ranger versus Rangers next week. Yep. Turnbull better than Walker. I agree with you. Taijuan Walker's been a bit of a head scratcher. Star Wars 99. I still don't understand why he's in there, unless it's just a money thing. They can't unload the contract, so either maybe they'll trade him if they, having depth. Topper said it last night. The ability that Walker got hurt. They're able to bring guys in, and having depth goes a long way. So now Walker being out, you're not fretting. You're not worrying about having a bullpen game. You're not worrying about bringing up somebody from the minors who has zero experience, who may not help you win games. So depth is a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. But right now, that's the problem they do have. So that is your Broad Street bottom line. All right, guys. So let's look around the rest of the league tonight, Friday night, May 17th, and let's see what's going on around the bases. All right, guys, currently going on in Major League Baseball. Baltimore's up 9-2 over Seattle in Baltimore at the bottom of the eighth. The Yankees are up 4-2 over the Chicago White Sox in the bottom of the eighth. Toronto is losing to Tampa Bay 4-2. That is the one of the two Apple TV games tonight. They're in the bottom of the eighth. Cleveland and the Twins are tied 2-2, bottom of the eighth, and that's the other Apple TV game of the night. Miami is beating up on the Mets right now, 7-0, bottom of the eighth. I guess that little team meeting they had last night before the game, even though they were able to squeak the win out, wasn't enough to continue it past last night. Atlanta is losing to San Diego right now, 3-1 in the middle of this, going into the bottom of the seventh. So that's something to keep your eye on, because kind of like we were doing a lot in the last couple of years, hoping that the Phillies would lose a game or the Braves would lose a game and the Phillies could gain some ground. They're kind of they're on that shoe. That shoe's on that foot for them right now. So that could be big, because I believe the Braves lost last night as well. So that's a big plus. KC is beating up on Oakland 6-0, middle of the seventh. Milwaukee is beating the Houston Astros 4-2. The Angels are beating Rangers 3-1 at the top of the fifth. The Red Sox are losing to the Cardinals 4-3, bottom of the fifth. Let's see what else we got here. And Arizona and Detroit are just getting ready to get off. Diamondbacks and the Tigers are getting ready to go off in the desert. LA and Cincinnati play tonight, 10-10 start. San Fran and Colorado play tonight in San Fran, 10-15 start. And the only other final tonight so far, because the Phillies have such a quick game, the only other final tonight so far is Chicago Cubs lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates 9-3. And that's it. That's your scores in MLB, and that's kind of what's going on around the bases. And like I said, it's early to start looking at standings and positioning watch and all that kind of stuff. But this was a much tighter NL East race not that long ago. Braves are now 3 games behind the Phillies. And if they lose tonight, it'll be 3.5 games. And right now they are losing. Mets are 10.5 games, and the Washington Nationals are both tied at 20 and 23. Now the Mets might win their game tonight, so we'll see. I mean, they're losing their game. Miami's beating them. I'm sorry. So they might lose again and fall even back. And Miami's 18.5 games out. So, continue to dominate. It's what this team needs to do. It kind of goes back to my Broad Street bottom line. This team needs to continue to dominate. And that's what they're doing. And again, I don't see it letting up. Maybe I'm sure I'm going to get a bit of a homer cry from some people. But, why not? Right now, live it up. Adam checking in, our big ticket winner from the last time we had an event out. So if you miss out on our events, it's your own fault. And Adam was the big time winner. He's going to June 28th game, fireworks game. He's gonna have a good old time. Hey, what's going on, Al? Phillies keep rolling. That's it, buddy. That's it. Keep rolling. You get knocked down, you get back up, and you keep rolling. Like that's the whole mentality that you need to have. And I don't see it happening opposite for this team right now. We first in MLB. Yes, we are still the first in the MLB, record wise. Record wise, win percentage wise, the whole 9 yards. Um, it's funny because the Braves have the same amount of losses, but they still have like 4 games to catch up on us. We both have 14 losses, but we've won 32 and they won 26 games. So, yeah. Well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Is that 6-game difference? Oh my God. Well, they're playing one like 5 game. That's crazy. I didn't know there's that many games out. The differential that they have to play than we do. That could be a big difference for them. I mean, that means they're going to make these games up. I mean, when we were playing in the sloppy weather that we played in so far, I feel like we play for Seattle. We play in Seattle. I should say not play for Seattle. We play in Seattle because all the rain and the muckiness. We've been playing through it. I guess these teams have not. The East Coast has been getting a lot of rain over in April, May. So we're fighting through it. We're playing through it and continue to win. Adam saying, is there an update on Walker? We talked about it a little earlier. Earlier before the game started, Topper did say last night when I was there, he did say the same thing. It really hasn't changed much. But the x-rays, I believe, were normal, so that's good. He's a contusion on his toe. I believe tonight he was doing kind of like the same exercises like a shortstop and a second baseman would make, just to see how his foot does in those exercises. I believe it was like working with Boa doing that. But right now they're just going to test him out, see how he does. His start would run into Monday. They don't have a game on Monday. They have a day off, so they could go about it a couple different ways, Adam. They could just skip his start and let people just kind of continue where they're rolling. I think they would preferentially would like to give everybody the day off so everything gets bumped back so everybody gets an extra day to allow guys to heal. And that's probably why maybe Zack Wheeler was able to go going 7 1/3 tonight, and Topper was okay because he already threw 100 pitches to continue going. So maybe that was it. Maybe that was the thought process that they're trying to really make sure that happens. And like I said, they've right now with depth, they have a little wealth of riches. They're wealth and depth of riches, if you want to call it that scenario. I guess you're probably going to see for the next couple of games, Spencer Turnbull be very limited, if anything. Probably won't see him do anything tomorrow, maybe even Sunday, depending on how his foot feels, because Spencer Turnbull could be put back in that rotation if he has to go in the IL and or at least take some extended time off. So that's it. Partner in crime here, Mike Laro. Sup, Big Al. Nice game by Wheeler Knight. Yep. Bounce back game. Good to see. It's the kind of things you need from guys like him. That's what great pitchers do. That's what great players do in any sport. They bounce back. When they have a bad game, they get pissed off. Kyle, like I was interviewing Kyle Schwarber last night. In the locker room, and somebody asked a question while I was there and said, what are your how are you feeling after being the last out? But like, how do you get past it? You get annoyed, you get frustrated, but you learn from it. You get to you work on what's causing it, and you just make sure it doesn't happen again. And it's kind of what this team's doing. That's exactly what this team's doing. And Zack did it tonight from his last start. So Mike's exactly what we need to see. Nola and Ranger had full game. Nola and Ranger had full. I mean, I know Nola had the full game. Yeah, they both, Star Wars. Yeah, they did well. And that's the thing is and that's probably why they would like to see that extra day with the day off instead of just skipping. How am I forgetting his name? Taijuan Walker, and letting everybody just pitch where they would normally pitch if there wasn't a day off. They really want to give guys the chance to have an extra day, which will go long. I mean, I got to give Topper credit. I know some of his decision making is a bit of a head scratcher, a little bit, but that kind of stuff, like the longevity stuff, like the big picture stuff, looking forward down the line, it's kind of refreshing because he's worried about that, as he should. I mean, you don't want to burn these guys out. You don't want dead arms and anybody going into the postseason, and having a lot of choices. It'd be nice not to see a bullpen game ever this whole season. Oh my God, it would be amazing. I'm tired of seeing. I hate that word. It's like a nasty word, but don't have to worry about it right now. And hopefully, we continue to. Yeah, Mike, 93 vibes. Chase Utley was in town last night. He was at the stadium last night. Had some nice words to say about this current Phillies team, and he feels like this team should be in the World Series. And, I don't think Chase would just say that if Chase didn't feel that, but he sees a lot of this 07 through 11 Phillies in this team, how I think between the camaraderie of this team, the talent of this team up and down, getting young guys off the bench who are producing, as well as big names like Howard, Utley, Victorino, Rollins, producing. But when they weren't having good games, the other guys picked them up. That's what this team did. Like, they were never out of it. I've told the story 1,000 times. I'm not going to tell it again, but there's been plenty of games where this team should have lost, or the 08, 09, 10 teams where they should have lost. They were down 5, 6, 7, 8 runs, and they scored it all back in one run and came back and won it. Like, they're never out of it. Like last night, like, this team was never really out of it. I mean, certain nights they're going to be out of it. They're not going to win it like that all the time, but this team really is never out of it. A timetable on Turner. Adam, I think they're going to stick to the 6 weeks. I talked about this a little earlier. I think Star Wars was asking, he said he could be back before the 6 weeks. And right now, he's in the field. He's fielding his position. They're testing him out, and he's looking good, and he's moving around. And apparently the complaints are not there, which is a good thing. But I don't think they need to rush him back. I don't want him to be rushed back. I'm okay if he gets go the full 6 weeks. Hamstring injuries are nagging, ongoing, long injuries that can haunt you throughout the season. Come up at any other time. So the more rest he gets, and this team isn't losing, he's not worried about it. It's not like this team has been falling apart without him. I'm not saying we don't ever need him, but if we can run 6 weeks without him and continue to play what we're doing, then take the full 6 weeks. Let that thing heal up so we don't have to worry about this in August, in September, and October, of course. So timetable is what the timetable is. I think it's going to be the full 6 weeks. Outside of this team falling apart, even then, I don't even think it would be still too early to make any panic move to put a guy in there who's going to have a nagging hamstring down the line. This team has playoff / World Series aspirations, as we all do for it. So it'd be silly to do so. So in my eyes, I think the timetable continues to be the timetable, which would be that 6 week marker. Maybe I doubt it's going to be sooner. Could be a little bit later if they feel like he needs a little extra time. And if like I said, if this team continues to play like it's been playing, there's no reason to rush him back. Take all of June for all I care. Love Trey Turner. Want to see him back. Hopefully he can really pick right back up where he left off from. But at the end of the day, his health is the main focus, and keeping the depth deep, for lack of better words. No rush on the timetable. So as far as I know, it's still the 6 weeks. Probably, I guess I get this close to Father's Day around that time. But again, if he's not 1,000%, no reason to rush him back, especially if they continue to play. Matt Stairs, unsung hero, absolutely unsung hero. I mean, there's a guy you're picking people up. I guarantee most people can't. That moonshot he made in the NLCS, that's the one that people remember. He could probably have 1,000 other home runs. It doesn't matter. Like, he can live off that one moment in time as a Philly, and he'll be forever a hero. Jose bounced back. Jose Alvarado. Yeah, he struggled. Ultimately, gave up the runs. The wild pitch last night. So again, gotta have competitors and champions have short-term memories. They have a bunch of road games coming up. They have Washington. They have the Rangers. They have the Rockies, San Fran, and the Cardinals, all coming up between. This is not the road games. There's like games ahead of them. I mean, they have a really good possibility of being really good through the rest of May. The Rangers are a 2-game series, I believe, maybe 3. I have to check that out. But they could. Let me see. Tuesday, yes, they're 3-game series. Sorry. So after that, you have the Rangers are going to be a tough play, but I mean, they're not playing great. Rangers are barely over 500 team right now, I believe. Yeah, they're 23 and 22. People are like, oh, you wait till you play a good team. Well, playing a good team, when you're the best, isn't many. All right, here we go. I was waiting for it. Let's see. Matty B's chiming in here. I've been waiting for it to see what he has to say. 200 with runners in scoring position, batting average through last 6 games, 11 for 55. The other shoe will drop if that is not cleaned up. Agreed. But like you said, over the last 6 games, some guys have struggled a little bit more. Kyle Schwarber's been struggling more. Castellanos continues to, he had some I won't call it resurgence, but just better play in South Florida when they're playing Miami. So I believe that'll get cleaned up a little bit, especially when you get guys like Trey Turner back in the lineup. I'm not super worried about it. I mean, look how far they went last year, and the runners in scoring position batting average wasn't great the whole year long. But as you play better teams and as they play deeper in the season, when things get tighter and people are playing a little bit more call it playoff style baseball, that will play a factor. And I agree with you. You have to get that better. I'm not saying you could live with that. I'm not, like I said, 6 games, small sample size. Overall, they're doing a lot better with runners in scoring position, I think, from the season standpoint to this point than they've done in many years. So hopefully that continues to grow. And like I said, hopefully we see the June kind of play we see from guys like Kyle Schwarber, and we'll see that start to happen. Because the funny thing is, it's not the bottom of the order that's causing the problem a lot of times. It really isn't. It's the top of the order. So let's see. I'm not going to freak out about it, but like I said, they've only have 14 losses on the season. Again, the Rangers is the big one that they're playing, the better team that they're playing between now and June 1st, because then they play the Rockies, who are an abysmal team. Then they play the Giants, who we've already swept. It's at Oracle Park, or whatever the heck it's called now. And now we always historically play bad there. We do. I don't know why. I mean, if you look, I think I did a tweet like this time last year when they were playing the Giants, and I'm like, it's like from like 2000 on, like it's like ridiculous. Like their winning percentage there, but I think they can break the cycle. This team just doesn't seem to matter where they're playing, who they're playing. They played some of the best pitchers in baseball. They went through a bunch of left-handed pitchers in the last like 6 or 7 games, and for the most part, have not let that get in their heads. And then they play the Cardinals, who are an okay team. I don't even know if you could say okay. They are they're bottom of the barrel as well. They're 18-25. I forgot how far they dropped down. Their division's a little lighter, but they should dominate. I mean, they should be able to go into June with under 20 losses. That's huge. Get through your first 2 full months and have be under 20 losses. You can't ask for much more than that. Runners in scoring position was 286 last Friday. Today 272. Okay, so 286. Yeah, I mean, I would like to be to like 300 and above, but 286 is above the MLB average. Dropped down a little bit because it's been a little bit colder. The bats haven't been that great as of lately as much. It's been more the pitching. Personally, there's been some games where it's been the bats, but these guys are still scoring in bunches. I mean, even tonight they only scored four runs. They're still, that's pretty good when 4 runs scored is a slow night at the office for these guys. So I'm not super worried about that right now. We'll keep our eye on that. That's a number that I believe could be a dividing line between championship and not. So we'll see. Imagine if the whole lineup catches fire at the same day, they will be hard to beat. I think any lineup is hard to beat if 1 through 9 batters are just, doing well and above. But this lineup especially, oh yeah, Adam, absolutely. I would hate to see this. Could you imagine if your 9-hole hitter was like 2 for 3 and everybody was better than that? Is that or better? I mean, could you imagine? It would be unfair. But baseball, it's a 30% game. The likeliness of that happening are slim to none. But you know what? Save it for the playoffs. I'd rather see that during then. Like just dominate then. But that is about it, guys. Real quick, remind you that the Fighting's final continues this weekend. Saturday, you have Sal G going tomorrow. I don't know. Mike and him might have switched, so I don't know. But right now, I believe on the docket it is Sal G. And then you've seen them just chiming in just recently. Matty B with the stats coming in at you Sunday for the final, and he will have his Down on the Farm segment. So he'll be talking about who and to be watching out for in the farm system for the Phillies. Young guys coming up, maybe guys who could be up before the end of the season, or guys who will be coming up in the next couple seasons, and watch some of that homegrown talent grow. Real quick on the schedule here, guys. EOP, a slight change. Normally, Friday night would be Steel Steps. They moved to Saturday, but unfortunately, they won't even be happening this Saturday. So this week, Steel Steps is the week off. They will have plenty of stuff coming out. They're actually going to be at, I believe right now, they are at a wrestling event and hosting it and being part of it. So always in the mix of it here at Edge of Philly Sports. Steel Steps doing an amazing job. But the rest of the weekend, we have Fighting's Finals Saturday and Sunday, PM in the AM with Mike Laro and Pat, and myself, and all across all the time with Gary, Sean, and Muffler Mike doing that thing they do so well and cover lacrosse. So if you missed any of this stuff before, you go on YouTube, you can hit the podcast up wherever you get your podcast, go back and check it out. And also, if you missed today, Football Stories was on today instead of Thursday. We had some streaming issues. With StreamYard was having issues, but got all taken care of. So I got them out today, but they'll be back to their normal Thursday afternoon time slot. So guys, thank you for joining me tonight. As always, thank you for being great fans of Edge of Philly Sports, great fans of Philly sports and Phillies baseball, especially. Adam, another great show. Keep up. Thank you, Adam. We love you, buddy. Listen. It's guys like you and the guys who've been commenting in all day, Star Wars and Daniel and Phil and Matt and Mike and Elephant in the Room, all you guys. It's like it makes it worthwhile doing what we do. Okay, because sometimes you wonder, is anybody paying attention? You see the numbers, but sometimes guys just don't comment, and that's fine. But it's nice to see, when you do comment. So if you are watching and you're not commenting, I understand that, but I would really appreciate a like and a follow and a subscribe or whatever it is you can do. Listen, it takes you 3 seconds. It doesn't take any money out of your pocket, but it works for us. It means the world to us. So if you have not already, and hey, you're like, oh, I signed up on Facebook. Okay, well, go over to YouTube, hit subscribe, go to Twitter, hit follow. You never know what's going to be showing up on any of those outlets. And if you've not signed up, EOPsports.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Sign up. Check out all the articles that we write. And all the shows. If individually get to meet all the key players here at Edge of Philly Sports. So, guys, again, thank you so much for being awesome, being you, and the things that you guys do so great. We will hopefully with you guys is what keeps us going. So remember to use all our great sponsors. Let's start with the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, Drexel Hill. Great food, great drinks. Adam, you could tell them all about it. You were there. Go to phillysportstrips.com. Sign up for a trip right away. Sherry's Tickets. Get those tickets. It's hard to get events. As we talked about, 10% off by using that promo code EOP10. No hidden fees. Can't beat it. And cherryinjurylaw.com. David R. Cherry is the man with the plan for workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, and criminal law. Call him at 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. And, of course, come out to Dolan's whenever, but definitely next Saturday, May 25th, for the Wiffle Ball Mania Dolan's Classic with John Kruk and Mickey Morandini. So other than that, guys, I thank you once again. It's a Friday night. Go enjoy some time. Go grab a drink. Have a little splash of bourbon with your boy Alan Mind here, and have a great night. See you next time. Phillies win tonight against the Nationals 4-2. They have a 6:05 start tomorrow. So we'll be back with the Fighting's Final following, guys. Check it out. Have a great night.